it really pondered on my mind quite a bit because I hate when we try to eliminate events or we try to change the narrative of what happened with events that we saw with our own two eyes, right? And particularly in this one, what bothers me with the pardon of the 1,500, 1,600, almost 1,600 people is that I've heard for many years, like, the terms of back the badge, right? Like, I see people who drive around in their cars that have a badge on there that says back the badge or back the blue, which I ain't got no issue with it, right? I hear people talk about Blue Lives Matter, right? Which I don't like where that came from because it was after we said Black Lives Matter. And then also, when I think about what happened January 6, 2021, I just think about how they always tell us, you know, stop resisting. If you just comply, right? Like, all you have to do is comply and everything will be okay. Well, that person wouldn't have got murdered and lost their life if they just complied with what the officer said. And so I feel like people are trying to rewrite the history on January 6th. I feel like people are trying to let time go by and try to say, whoa, that didn't happen. Oh, no, they let them come in. What it was. So I decided today, because truth to power is all about making sure that everybody is educated, making sure everybody's informed, making sure that we have a community conversation, and making sure we're entertaining, because I care about all that. But the education, to me, facts, because that's all. Listen, I can have my own opinion, but I like to believe my opinion is based off of facts, because facts is the only thing that we know to be true. Now, we can look at the facts and determine them and have our own opinion based off them. But at the end of the day, facts are facts. And so now what I want y'all to do, make sure y'all go and watch us live on YouTube. I'm going to have DJ Brother Z play a nice video from Vice that relives what happened January 6, 2021, for those who think that the police just opened up the doors and said, come on in, crowd. Let's have a party. For those that think it was a hoax, for those that think it wasn't a dangerous day, there's a great video that Vice created that goes through, they were there, that goes through just raw footage and video of what they saw on the ground. Make sure y'all go and watch right now, 1017 The Truth, because this is a great video and a reminder that you don't let them rewrite history.
On the surface, Wednesday started like so many Trump rallies had before. But the anger and the tension felt more intense. Congress was about to confirm Joe Biden's presidency, and most here were convinced it was a fraud.
Do you think people are angry today?
Yeah, absolutely people are angry, and you can feel it. You can feel the rage, the madness.
Before Trump's speech was even finished, many were already making their way to the Capitol.
Stop protecting tyrants! Stand down!
And as more protesters arrived, the mood darkened.
Hold up, man! Hold up, man!
We're here at the Capitol steps right after the Trump speech was finished. People started filing over here and started pressing against the Capitol. Police are spraying mace and pushing the lines back so people can get through. We're going to move forward.
USA! 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 Come on!
But
as y'all are seeing here, we're going to mute in between because there's some vulgar language that was used in there. And we're going to mute in between. But as you can see, this ain't no peaceful protest. This ain't people just being walked in. This is an aggressive mob, a riot. People got on masks. People have weapons. That's what they're using right now.
Who's your covering? Is it CNN? Better not be CNN.
police started throwing flashbang grenades and spraying mace. As the crowd pushed up, one man flashed his handgun at a group of journalists. The cops weren't prepared. They had to take turns with the masks to protect from their own tear gas. The defense lines quickly fell apart.
This is our country. We want it back. This was nonsense. This was absolute nonsense that happened. And so as you continue to watch and you continue to see the destruction, the trespassing, the treasonous actions, don't let them rewrite history, people. This was not peaceful. They did not just open the door to let them in. This was complete nonsense of what we saw. And I think we have to understand that when you allow for people to rewrite history, it is a very, very, very dangerous act. We are living in a historic moment, people. We are. People who literally went into the Capitol, they trespassed into the Capitol building, are now free. They are being told that their actions that they committed, their crimes that they committed, is all okay because it was for one man's ego. You stroked my ego, so you have freedom. You can be lawless. Yes, lawless if you stroke my ego.
It went from worse to worse, sir.
It sure has gone from worse to worse, sir. And I think we have to understand that we cannot allow this to happen, because I remember a couple years ago, and you can Google this, is that they will rewrite history on everything. Think about slavery. There are people who deny that slavery actually happened. Yes, there are people who deny that we were in bondage, in chains, right? And if you don't believe me, think about these textbooks that they have down in Texas. And if you don't believe me, Google Texas slavery textbook. You just Google that. And what you will find is down in the state of Texas, they have books that they put in schools that basically say when it comes to slavery that the Atlantic slave trade got African workers, right? Not slaves, African workers to come be on, work on agricultural plantations. See, that language is so important because what it does is diminishes exactly what a slave was. It says workers. Worker sounds willing. Slavery sounds free and forced. And when you change that language, people just think, oh, it wasn't that bad. There's people out there who deny the Holocaust as well, the Jewish Holocaust. They try to say that never happened, right? And so when we look at all these events like Sandy Hook, where 26 people were murdered and 20 of those people were under the age of 7, people will say, oh, well, Sandy Hook was a hoax. Sandy Hook was faked. It was a staged event. No. You can't tell 20 people, you can't tell 20 families that lost a child under the age of 7 that this was a hoax, that this was a staged event. So we have to be very careful because they will rewrite history.